So let's get on with a very healthy and finely balanced, no, it won't be, a well-argued film review. What are you doing first?
The Dead Don't Hurt, Western,
Yes.
written, produced, directed by, starring Viggo Mortensen, who, like Charlie Chaplin and Sally Potter and John Carpenter, also wrote the score, which he also did for the 2020 film Falling, which I remember you interviewed him for. I'm correct in that, aren't I?
You are definitely correct in that.
Yeah. Okay. So 1860s America, Western frontier, starts with a young man walking out of a bar in Elk Flats, Nevada, where he appears to have shot everyone. He shoots the deputy, gets on his horse, rides off. Viggo Mortensen's Holger Olsen, meanwhile, is in his remote shack burying his wife Vivian, played by Vicky Krieps, the great Vicky Krieps, who was so brilliant in Phantom Thread, as their young son looks on. The film, which is non-linear, then spirals back many years to the first meeting between the French-Canadian Vivian and the Danish Holger in San Francisco. She's an independent woman. He's a man of very few words. They have in common that they're outsiders. There's a spark between them. They fall in love. They start to make a home. And then, just when everything seems to be going fine, war comes, and he decides to enlist. Here's a clip.
I'm going to take the $100 bounty and volunteer for the army. They might pay even more because of my previous military experience.
Why? Why? This is not your problem. This is not your country.
It is now. It's not just about money. It's the right thing to do, fighting against slavery. Those who can should.
Bullshit, Olson. C'est pas tes affaires.
I won't be gone long.
And you're so stupid. So stupid. What if I don't wait for you, huh?
I'm a good soldier. They need me.
You're too old to go to war.
So, tonally, this reminded me of a couple of things. Kelly Reichardt's Meek's Cutoff, which is a film I really like, and Mona Fastvold's The World to Come, which, again, I think you interviewed Vanessa Kirby for that film. And it's a very kind of bleak film. But
Yes, very bleak.
Yeah, very bleak. But the thing that those have in common is they're Westerns by setting rather than by subject. So the setting is, the Western frontier, people living hard-scrabble lives, violence, ever-present threat. But the subject is the people. I mean, in this case, this understated relationship between these two misfit characters, both attempting to make a world of their own. It also reminded me, weirdly, a little bit of Sam Peckinpah's The Ballad of Cable Hogue, which, of course, famously flopped. And, it was the film that he really cared passionately about and then did really, really badly. This is beautifully shot by Marcel Ziskin, widescreen frame, which captures the beauty of the landscape, but also manages to be intimate when we're inside the house. Great work from the regular collaborators with whom Viggo Mortensen worked on his previous films. So his art director, production designer Carol Spear, costume designer, it's the same people that he worked with before. Very enigmatic performance by Mortensen, but she absolutely dominates the screen. And I remember seeing Vicky Krieps in Phantom Thread and just being knocked out by her. And she has that sort of that thing about, she has a presence and a stillness, but also something fiery within her. And the lovely thing about her character is whenever she smiles, it sort of lights up the screen, and it's a very, very hard role to get right. And I can imagine if they'd miscast that role, the film really, really wouldn't work. It is worth saying that this isn't for everyone. I mean, it takes its time. The pacing is slow and methodical, and the non-linear storytelling is not always completely easy to follow. There was a couple of moments that I was wrong-footed, although I believe that is deliberate. But look, if you like Westerns and you like, I said things like Meek's Cutoff, I think there's a lot in here to enjoy. But it is worth saying that it's not a kind of shootout Western. It's not, whole gangs of people on horsebacks, rounding up the wagons. It's not that kind of Western. It is basically a story about two people that happens to have a Western setting. I found it very affecting.
Is he still the new Robert De Niro?
Well, I think he is. I mean, I said that. I think you said it to him that I had said that.
I did. I did. I did.
It was after History of Violence, because he'd done brilliant work with David Cronenberg, and again, because in Eastern Promises. And I think, in the way that people were saying, Michael Fassbender is the new Marlon Brando, which of course is a bit of a poison chalice, because the new Marlon Brando before he became the old Marlon Brando. But I would still argue that Viggo Mortensen is indeed the new Robert De Niro. He's very serious. I mean, he's a serious actor, serious director, serious artist, and he takes his filmmaking very seriously.